All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Sorry about being a few minutes late. Had some tech issues this morning. VTIQ down 13% today. I mentioned yesterday it looked like a good day to get short. Looks like it actually was a pretty good day to get short. We'll see what happens though. NASDAQ had a pretty interesting day yesterday. We ended up, oops, took a pretty hard sell off, and then we kind of bounced back towards the end of the day and actually ended up on slightly elevated volume. Could have just been short covering into the close there, but we're back down, chilling near lows, not really going much lower at the moment. That could change, obviously. Usually end up with kind of a counter move in the morning. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, nothing too great, nothing too bad. General trend still intact. Bollinger Bands, we're right on that middle Bollinger Band. Stock wise, looks like we have mostly negative stocks. Netflix is apparently leading us positive today. That's nice. There you go, Netflix. AMD and Roku also up here that we've been looking at. Zoom up another 2%. Beyond Meat, Ring, DocuSign, Amazon, Regeneron, which has kind of been on a little mini tear since the coronavirus. One of the few ones that's actually benefited, at least stock wise. See, I look at Netflix yesterday, basically had crazy round trip. Up all the way back down, undercut everything, and then now this morning we're right back up at it, and really good volume too. So that could be a interesting sign of things to come. Randers, I don't know if anyone's ever called me Randers. What's up, Tyler? Good morning. See, Netflix trying to break out of this little range here. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, May 14th today. Ellie, what's up? Microphone, why is it different? I think I turned off the noise suppression thing. Mic's always different. All right, so see if that goes back to sounding more the same. In a restroom, it's because I turned off the noise suppression. I just turned it back on. Does that sound better? Oh, okay. Go noise suppression. RTX voice, ladies and gentlemen. RTX voice. If you have an NVIDIA graphics driver in your computer. If you don't, get off my channel. Anyway. Yeah, Netflix, great volume this morning. I kind of like it. We'll see what happens with the with the rest of the market though, but Netflix appears to be pretty good. Uh, Ellie, I can't fulfill all of your fantasies, okay? I'm just one dude, okay? Just leave it at that. So check out global watch list. NVGS. What's oil doing? We haven't really seen much about oil in a while. Bitcoin popping up a little bit there. More ads. I may just have to pay for FinViz. They're annoying me enough. 293. $26 for oil. Nothing majorly changed there. Let's get chat back in the mix here. There we go. Okay, not too bad. That $10 spike was pretty aggressive. So we'll see if maybe oil is ooh, Zill, nice break. Come pull back to the trend line. Where were we there? Here we go. Not a bad trend reversal move on oil. We never did find a good way to play it, did we? Just trying to see if Newegg shows me things I've been looking at. Of course, I've been looking at everything. Wasn't looking at toner cartridges. Wonder why they're showing me that. Whoever they're using for their ads doesn't do a great job. All right, back to the Marquettes. NVGS taking it on the chin. Netflix bobble in the open there. There's our buddy Nvidia back up here towards highs. Failed breakout yesterday. Again, Ellie, I don't need to be hearing about that side of your life, okay? I like you. You're a great guy. Let's just be friends. Mohammed, good morning. AMD yesterday actually with a pretty negative day. I had a shorter term option on that. I had closed it yesterday. Luckily, it was a micro position, so didn't get hurt on that one. Elevated selling day yesterday too on AMD. We'll wait and see what happens with this handle. Hopefully, we don't have a massive gap up one day. That would feel bad. Although pullback situations can be advantageous, undercuts and rallies. Here's a small undercut and rally. Went for just a small run. No bounce for pays. I don't know. It doesn't look like it. It's not on our green actionable list. Looks like down about 1.3%. Pulling away from the trend line. So, yeah, we've been looking for some kind of a pullback in the market ever since we kind of started popping up here about a month and a half ago, month or so ago. Haven't had it yet. Still haven't had it. We're still within a trend. If I duplicate this trend line, actually, what I could do is draw a channel here, upward trending channel. So that's still not technically a pullback. Still no pullbacks. We can come back down here, hit this, and then bounce up off of it. We did that here, overnight session. Yeah, that was a Monday. So last Monday when we had that week long rally last week, and then yesterday, like I said at the start of the show, um, yesterday we bounced at the end of the day. We didn't even really um, form a huge sell-off candle. If this were a candlestick, could be confused for a doji possibly, and it is a higher volume candle. You can see right there. It's kind of funny. We were sitting towards the low of the day, and we were almost equal with the previous day's volume, and then we never went any lower. Just kept chopping up, and volume kept getting higher, higher, higher. So it looks a little bit like a bottoming candle. Is odd enough for that just to be a very short term route to the downside. We had one the other week, though, here on Thursday, Friday, that culminated in that week long rally, taking out that whole selling range. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure. You look at the news headlines on employment, things are bad, um, but no major cracks for the market quite yet. You gotta respect the market and let it work. Right? You can't be for those software guys over you. I know Ellie's a software guy. You can't be hawking over your engineer's shoulders every 5 minutes. What are you using that method for? Huh? What about that one? Why that one? Go up a little bit. Where's that one? No. What about? You can't do that. You'll drive them nuts. Same with your trading in the markets. You kind of have to let it play out until it breaks some overt signals. If you see your guy, writing a request to a server that you don't know about, probably should ask him about that a little more deeper. That's what a distribution day is, which I think we had one yesterday. So, but we're still not elevated in terms of distribution day count. United Airlines down another 8%. Tricky, tricky. SkyWest, United Airlines, D-Dog. Okay, still up from earnings. A little bit of a pullback though. RPD? RPD. I'm not sure I know about that one. Double top on the weekly. It does have some potential for that. You got to bounce to the 50-day. It was respected once. I don't know anything about it. Let's go find something out about it. Software Rapid 7. Vulnerability risk management. Magic Quadrant for security information. Oh, okay. Ellie, you ever heard of these guys? Never heard of them. Really solid product. Okay, well, you seem to be knowledgeable about it. Um, 8,500 customers. Oh, that's pretty good. You're like, shut up, Randy, and get to the chart. Um, well, a negative about this guy is that it hasn't really rolled back with the rest of the market. So that's a bit of a negative. We've seen a lot of cloud names move up. Let's see who their peers are in the cybersecurity group actually. Composite ranking of 67. Okay, Fortinet. Okay, that's on our list. Qualys, nice. Proofpoint. Okay, all good stocks. This is ranked number 19th in this category. 15, a good industry group rank. That's pretty good. EPS is pretty negative. That's probably reflecting coronavirus stuff. 30% on sales. Average volume's good. Market cap's good. Yeah, no one follows this guy, do they? I wonder why. Um, I think support at the 50-day line is pretty good. I'm not too mad at it down here. You're if you're looking at a stop loss, you're probably looking at it down about that's about 6 or 7%. Okay, you're kind of catching a falling knife a little bit. Like I said, the 50-day moving average can act as a support. Has once, may again. In terms of longer term prospects, there isn't really a major base that's formed here. Yeah, there's no real semblance of a base. So from an IBD standpoint, this would be a non-starter just because there's no base. If you look at the leaders of the group, Fortinet skyrocketing into all-time highs. So for some reason, they like Fortinet a lot better than they like RPD. Um, Proofpoint was another one. That one's not in all-time highs, but was sitting there. Qualys, all those names I believe we have on our actionable list. Qualys at least sitting into new highs here. So RPD a laggard for some reason. Difficult to invest in the laggards in a lot of circumstances. The markets. Um, One thing you'll notice, and it's kind of ubiquitous, I think, throughout our economy, is that the leaders tend to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, while everyone else just kind of dangles and hangs out there. And from an investing standpoint, the ones that kind of linger and hang out there, they usually don't get the attention. Um, and I can't say that's going to be the case here going forward, but right now it appears to be the case. Morning, Rob. Yeah, so if you had to buy this here, fine. I'm not sure what its upside potential is, though, to be honest. I really try not to play with the laggards if I don't have to. Soxel down 6%. All right, playing with the trend line. We'll see if we get support there. We do have a semblance of a head and shoulders pattern here, unfortunately, for Soxel. Yesterday, an elevated volume candle. Again, with a nice little pop to the upside at the end of the day. Nothing majorly aggressive, though. Market down 1%. Where's Netflix? Netflix pulled back substantially. Yeah, sure, Tom. All right. Looks like an early morning kind of shakeout situation right there. Pullback was on low volume though. Hopefully that'll do okay. Greens even diminishing from where we were already. We had three or four more greens on our chart now. Regeneron's down, Nvidia's down, Amazon's down. Those were all up there. PayPal, noticed it yesterday, holding very nice and tight up here in this little range. I'm not sure what the market's going to do, but if PayPal starts to rally through that trend line right there, I think that could be purchased for a trade. Let's see what's going down here today. VTIQ, pretty stable though, gapping down 10%. Really not that bad if you look at the daily or the intraday charts here, the 5 minutes. It's pretty manageable. Although yesterday was pretty much a topping day. United Airlines now down 10%. Ooh. So these airlines are taking it on the chin. Probably Carnival doing it as well. Or cruise lines, yeah. They're getting rid of that coronavirus risk that's not coming back. And apparently that's what all these guys are doing, not coming back. Blowing out the bottoms out of some of these patterns. Good thing we exited a few days ago. See if Play's doing the same thing. Play was looking a lot like the airlines and stuff, which is why I ditched it. Instead of the leaders, it was looking like the laggards. And it's down, definitely down. Restoration Hardware, undercut trend lines. Okay, so there's a retailer. So we're starting to see a little bit of chink in the bullish armor here. 1.3% for the Nasdaq now to the downside. MongoDB has just been consolidating up here into highs. Nothing too crazy. Let's go from the bottom up. Could find ourselves, if the market doesn't fall apart too bad on the indexes, maybe we'll find ourselves with some good buying opportunities with some of the leaders that are getting some shakeouts right now. I'll do a little bit more research this afternoon. Come on, Carvana. Why can't I get daily charts? This is so annoying. CHK is ugly. It's a weekly 819. Yeah. 1.5 down for the NASDAQ right now. Volume's already fairly decent too, at least on the futures. And I slice that middle Bollinger Band. First time since we, firmly broke above it over here on 4.6, which is about a month and a week ago. We'll see if it's just a little wick below it or what's going to happen with that. Okay, so INMD, Carvana. Just keep walking up this list here. Come on. I just want to see a chart. What'd I ever do to you, Thinkorswim? All right, I'm going to close it and restart it, see if that helps. It's just too bad. All right, install some updates, Thinkorswim. Doesn't look like there's any updates. That sucks. Come on. Well, if I type my username in right, that would work. Now give me charts. No. Ugh. Gosh, this is brutal. Market 1.34. What if hourly charts will render? Let's look at hourly charts. There's only 6 of them. I know it wasn't horrible. Zoom, okay, not too bad on Zoom. Domino's Pizzas down about 1%, aren't too bad. Down in the market's pretty good, which is Zoom, Roku, Take-Two, Regeneron, Fortinet, which, as we mentioned, is one of the cybersecurity firms sitting right there up towards highs. AMD performing better than the market. PayPal, nicely in its base. So these are our healthier stocks right now, down less than the market's down. Not too bad. Mongodb pulling in a little bit. Okay. So we're having a pullback day. We've got to see if it's going to be an exaggerated sell-off day or not. Let's see if we got counted with another distribution day on the IBD. See what the big picture says. Another win for the Bears by the close. So 3 distribution days in the S&P, still only 1 on the NASDAQ. Dang, that NASDAQ is something. So I believe that's 2 distribution days in a row, which is a little concerning. when distribution days start to pile up in a quick fashion, not good. Yep. 2 distribution days in a row. A little spooky. Little spooky. Audio codecs or audio codes, 8 other stocks cycle onto IBD's key watch list. What's audio codes? Never heard of that. Two of my favorite things, audio and codes. AUDC. Let's look at that. Holy run. Look at that. That's crazy. Back in 2018, very broad cup and handle from 7 up to 31. Audio codes, huh? What do you do, audio codes? Audio codes. Voice DNA for the digital workplace. Those words shouldn't go together. Fully managed voice service for Microsoft Teams. Huh? Would Microsoft Teams just do that? Notices, title updates. Is this strictly for Microsoft Teams? Hmm. Huh. 420 HD IP phone. 99 composite rating. Wow. That's pretty. Number one in Israeli designer of advanced voice over IP converged VoIP data networking products and applications. 39% EPS change is pretty good. 12% sales, a little low. Pre-tax margin, a little low. Average daily volume's good. Accumulation distribution good. Okay. Not too bad. Audio codes, huh? Welcome to the family, audio codes. Nice to meet you. Arguably, probably doing a little bit better with coronavirus. They had a quick spike down to looks like $10 over one day where they, I think, bought the crap out of them. Volume wasn't that outrageous. I wonder if that was just a fluke of some kind. Interesting. Interesting. Looks like Tesla taking it on the chin a little bit. 2 point. Oh, speaking of Tesla, I started a Tesla channel on YouTube, which you're watching this video on. Um, Not sure if I'll continue it or not. I figure I'd give it a shot. I was looking at their battery patent and I was pretty happy with it. It was pretty neat, and I didn't see a lot of content going a little deeper into it. So I posted a video on that. It's in the Slack chat room if you guys are interested. Wish you would take a look. At least give me some feedback and tell me to just never do that video again. That would be that would be better than nothing. I'll put it in random. I put it in general, but that gets kind of walked through. So I'll put it in random, which tends to have a longer shelf life. In case you guys are interested, you can go ahead and check that out. Yeah, and tell me just don't ever do that again. All right, Atlassian back into positive territory today after breaking out of a larger base. Ring doing good. Netflix still down there. Coop, PayPal. We're finding a little bit of legs now. Looks like we've kind of been bobbling around here. How about our... No, VTIQ's lower, UAL's lower. Still a diverged market, at least when it comes to these laggards. UAL. I was looking at a short position yesterday, buying a put or something. Looks like that would have worked out pretty well. Uh, you know what? I should probably keep an eye on Restoration Hardware. When we get these pullbacks looking for undercuts and rallies, I've been really having a hard time finding them. And I like that. I like the strategy of the undercut and rally. So hopefully we'll be able to find a few as we're pulling back here, if the charts will render. What's net been doing? Net looking very nice. Just nice sideways action, volume declining. Very happy up here. All right, two airlines now down about double digits. Let's look at our big guys. Apple, pull back to the 10-day moving average. Doesn't happen very often. That's strange to say. Amazon. Is this all you get with Amazon? Oh, there we go. Now I just rendered the chart. Amazon still in its consolidation, really not going anywhere. Yesterday, actually, there was a high volume day, but it didn't really go very far. It's kind of chopped around. They're eating Amazon, absolutely eating it. Beautiful flag setup right there. Almost straight up from 1600 up to 2400. Doesn't qualify as a high tight flag, but kind of looks like one. 8% drop off, 50% rise. It's going to be a nice base to buy Amazon out of. If Amazon's any indication, which it kind of is, we're not near a downtrend in this market. Microsoft, manageable. Yesterday was a little bit more brutal. Weird spike overnight down to the 171 handles, but what was another one? Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. We looked at those. Okay. Take a look at Facebook, which is kind of been choppily doing weird stuff. Looks like we're going to form a bigger base up here. We've already undulated a couple of times with those recent bear markets. Haven't really broken out. I don't know. Facebook's weird in a multitude of ways. That's another big one. Been seeing a lot about Berkshire Hathaway lately. Kind of surprised. Yeah, look at Berkshire Hathaway not coming back. I think there's quite a few people not happy with what Warren Buffett's been doing. They've been like, why aren't you buying? Well, why aren't you buying when the market's down? We saw an article yesterday. I think it was during the crypto show actually. I don't think it was this show where some Warren Buffett holder was just selling a bunch of his stock because he's like, I don't understand them. He hasn't. Everything was down like 70%. He wasn't buying. It's like if that's not what blood in the streets is, I don't know what is. So, and actually, Berkshire Hathaway not looking very healthy. Just by BTC. Well, BTC is doing fine, oddly enough. Or in this case, you can buy GBTC right there, which I don't think has options. Yeah, no options for GBTC. Yeah, that could be a possibility. All right, a bit more green on our screen. That's always nice to see. AMD bouncing a little bit, a little bit. Bounce or flat off the Bollinger Band. Yeah, I mean that would be really nice. We've been able to maintain it this entire time and during the uptrends, um, except for when we get super tight here, and we tend to hold it pretty nicely. I actually kind of like the Bollinger Bands on the Nasdaq. Yeah, I've kept it up here. Notice all the distribution days stepping in here, rolling us over, and then through the Bollinger Bands to the downside. Chopped through them for a while, but then once we were firmly back above them, I look at the Bollinger Bands every day. I actually hardly notice they're there, except for when we're turning down. I'm like, okay, what are we looking with the Bollinger Bands? So 0.86% now, back to the upside. Hold on a second. All right. Ring. Look at Rings. Doesn't want to give it up. Not that it should, but 15. That almost could be considered. Well, it's not quite a high tide flag. It takes only about 2 or 3 weeks, which means Amazon's not a high tide flag too. Yeah, I forgot that about high tide flags. They only got to take about 2 or 3 weeks to double, and then sit tight, and then usually continue in some fashion. But very rare pattern. Very, very rare pattern. But Ring here has been very aggressive. Very little selling pressure on Ring. Just absolute minimal selling pressure. Buying pressure diminishing a little bit too, unless we get into a bigger breakout situation, which this morning actually out of this smaller consolidation here. Yeah, that'd have been a good entry point. Wasn't really watching Ring that closely though. LVGO straight up. Yeah, so these down days like this could be some nice entrances on some stocks that are um, hard to get into otherwise. Always a little scary though. Everyone's thinking about reversals and us going back into a correction, but and there's gold. Gold could be gone. Good volume this morning on gold, up basically 1%, which is a lot for gold. Not sure where gold could go, but Nasdaq down 1.1%. 1%. What was that 1.3? Aw, thanks, Ellie. Ugh. Makes me all warm and fuzzy inside. Hearing comments like, not in the way that you like, though, but just generally. Nice, warm, and fuzzy. All right. Let's take a look at Restoration Hardware here. Different price targets. Nasdaq down 1.15% almost. Coming back down a little bit. It could be. That's a possibility, Ellie. Really, there's nothing discounting that. Which would actually put us market generally doesn't do that though. It's kind of strange if you look at the Nasdaq. We don't like to go sideways for very often, although I guess we did a little bit over here. So that was some sideways action for a few months. I mean, yeah, that would make sense. That would make a lot of sense actually from a lot of perspectives. A little bit of uncertainty, things coming back, but not quite that aggressively. Other things not doing that good, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. So this is the futures. This isn't the actual Nasdaq. That's the reason why. If you look at the actual Nasdaq, so I don't know how to get volume out of the Nasdaq on a chart. So IBD actually, um, yeah. See, that was the futures. The futures are different than the actual markets themselves. The futures are just an instrument to trade, but the actual Nasdaq is the number of volume on of actual shares traded. This is actual shares on the actual Nasdaq. So if you look at yesterday, our volume was 5.991, and the day before, that's today. Yesterday, 42. Day before that, 42.9. Yesterday, 42.1. So it was not a distribution day. So yeah, so that's just total aggregation of all shares traded. It's actually a pretty honest number. Where the futures are just futures contracts, like oil contracts. You just saw how crazy oil got with negative prices, but obviously you never saw oil at the pump negative. It's kind of like that. I'm just not quite sure how to get this volume. They may have a pipe directly into NASDAQ and they may aggregate all trades. But on the futures market is just where they take bets on direction. But the NASDAQ is the actual exchange. So yesterday could have been some short covering. At the end of the day, could have been some. It's hard to know exactly what it was. All right, ring up 4%, leading us today. Kind of a little small slash mini breakout. I'll call it a mini breakout. PayPal in the negative territory. So pretty low key morning this morning. We'll see what it ends up this afternoon. But there's quite a few stocks down significant amounts. Definitely over the Nasdaq. So Nasdaq down about 1.3. If you go to my watch list, everything under here is about 1.3. MongoDB looks like it bounced back a little bit. It was down over 2% earlier. Having lots of fun technical issues here. Coinigy? I don't know. I don't really have Coinigy anymore. They lagged a bunch and didn't have all the full tools TradingView had. UI is a little nicer, but it's kind of weird. All right, VTIQ looks like a slowly moving lower. Look at our volume today. Nothing compared to yesterday. Later, Ellie. I may head out with you in a bit here too, buddy. But have a good one. You too, man. So VTIQ. Keep an eye on that bad boy. Yeah, not too mad at AMD here, able to outperform in a downtrend. That's not too bad. Yeah, they got volume. Anything maybe TradingView has? Um, there's Bitcoin going up. Nasdaq. Oh, maybe they do have volume. Is that the actual Nasdaq? Or is that is Nasdaq a stock? I don't know. Nasdaq Inc. If I go, yeah, there's the straight Nasdaq Composite. No volume for the Nasdaq Composite. They'd have to compile all that. What's that? Nasdaq leveraged? That's weird. Nasdaq volume? Mm-mm. Nope. It's a Bitcoin world, guys. We're just living in it. Yeah, I agree. We're the shot. We're the shot. 1.22 for the Nasdaq to the downside. MongoDB appears to be consolidating nicely right there. I don't mind AMD down here though. You got a nice pullback. We had a that good day the other day, but we're just chilling down here. This one's not too bad. Give it a little bit of time, see if it'll curl up or not. But maybe we'll come back and test this 50-day. Patience is good. Fortinet and Amazon just chilling. Very, very nice. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Market 1.3. So we'll see if we just completely fall apart today. Hard to say exactly. You might get it. Oh, get out of a couple of things if you start to. Yeah, I did a little bit of that yesterday. I exited a few positions. I actually hedged. I hedged with some SQQQ yesterday, but then I closed it by the end of the day into the rally, and then of course we gapped down by 1% today. So, um, yeah, this morning's action isn't exactly stellar. We very limited greens. Um, I don't think hedging's a bad idea. I don't want to get rid of my long positions though generally because we're not too bad. But a third distribution day in a row. Well, actually, yesterday was not a distribution day. On the S&P it was though. On the S&P it was. So if we do get a third distribution day in a row, that would be pretty damaging to the charts. Although we still wouldn't be super heavy distribution days, but you just get them piling up like that. It's a tough situation. So it may be time to kind of take a step to the side, and like you said, Rob, raise some more capital. I don't think raising capital is a bad thing. I think it's more important to protect your capital than it is to be right about the direction of the market. In all honesty, it's about improving your account. It's not about although analyzing the market and being good in direction is a way to make money, but in uncertain times, and we're going to get to those uncertain times quickly if we keep this bearish type of trajectory, at least in terms of volume. So we'll see how that goes. But all right, guys, with that, I'll get out of your hair, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Have a good day. Stay safe out there, and make wise choices. And check out my new Tesla thing on the random. All right, guys. Later.